20周年前夕的6月1号，
There's growing evidence that Chinese soldiers
90 thousands of children have developed kidney stones after taking some new formula.
Prominent human rights activist Hu Jia has been charged with inciting subversion of state power.
69,000 people have died from the Sichuan earthquake.
Military surgeon had 8 Chinese
自杀营官
citizens
thousands of poultry have been slaughtered in order to stave off food thrift.
Real stories, real lives happening inside China today. And I am your host, Daniel Teng. How are you today? Welcome to another edition of Inside China Today, the program which examines and reports on some of the latest news and occurrences inside China. We look to, well, expose and publicize stories which oftentimes doesn't receive as much exposure on other media networks. In this program, we're going to bring you special coverage of the news surrounding China's National Day. Then later in the program, we'll bring you other stories. One on industrial pollution causing serious health problems to a Guangdong village, the fight of a daughter of persecuted Falun Gong practitioner Jiang Zemin, and the latest news on the escalating conflict in Burma's northeast Kokang region. As mentioned before, today's headlines will center on China's National Day, seeing as how today is the 1st of October. We'll start with a quick history lesson. So what's the fuss behind the National Day? Most people are probably aware by now that October 1st, 2009 marks the 60th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party gaining power over the country in 1949. It gained power following a civil war with the Nationalist Party, or the Kuomintang, who ended up setting up government on the island of Taiwan and in modern times is one of two major political parties in that country. The Chinese Communist Party's reign hasn't been the most peaceful, with major social upheavals and violence. Some of the more notable being the 1957 anti-rightist movement, which purged over 500,000 intellectuals and professionals, the 1958 Great Leap Forward, which was supposed to lead China into the modern age, but instead led to one of the world's greatest famines, where over 36 million people died. The 10-year Cultural Revolution from 1966 to 76, which sought to overturn old traditions and beliefs and establish communist ideals, and finally the infamous Tiananmen Square massacre in 1989. The National Parade, as you can expect, was a very well-organized event, with an estimated 80,000 students and 60,000 soldiers participating in the parade. Current Chinese President Hu Jintao was in attendance, as well as Premier Wen Jiabao and former Chinese President Jiang Zemin. The China Daily newspaper, citing a spokesman for the Defense Ministry, said the parade would be held in an economical manner, as the authorities plan to spend only 300 million yuan, which is only $44 million US, on the event. The event itself was meticulously organized with nothing left to chance. Security personnel packed Beijing to the brim, with snipers located on many rooftops. Some of the more unique measures taken for the event included closing down businesses along Changan Street, the main parade route, banning anyone living along the street from opening their windows, restricting attendance to only invited guests, which meant the rest of the country had to watch the event on TV. Rockets were fired into the sky a few days prior to the event to disperse cloud and smog, and it worked. And ordering thousands of pigeons be locked up until after the parade. Now, the president of the Dongcheng District Carrier Pigeon Association, Mr. Dong Jingbei, suggested to the New York Times that authorities feared people might strap miniature bombs to the pigeons' legs. Obviously, the most notable aspect of the parade would have to be the Chinese military, in particular the goose-stepping People's Liberation Army. I've done a bit of research and found some of the training techniques used might seem a little extreme compared with other military forces. To ensure complete conformity, soldiers are required to stand straight and steady for an hour, not blink for at least 40 seconds. According to the Ta Kung Pao newspaper, organizers used strings to create lines across the front of troop formations to ensure uniformity. The 5 lines ran across the head, chest, the position of the gun, the hands, and the feet. A scanning laser was also used to read out any displacements during a rehearsal. One extreme case involved a soldier placing needles through his collar up against his neck to prevent his head and neck from dipping during training. At the end of 2 weeks, he had 58 holes in his neck. Lastly, the military have used all sorts of training methods to ensure the soldiers can conform to the strict standards, including psychological conditioning and offering incentives. As for the parade, posters were put up offering this poem to bolster the resolve of soldiers. Ahem. Sit for 4 hours and don't move. Stand for 4 hours and don't fall. Blow for 4 hours and don't get tired. Hold for 4 hours and don't go to the bathroom. Now, over the past few episodes, we've had plenty of stories of dissidents and petitioners being jailed. On September 25th, some activists spoke to SOH about the measures taken against them. The Shanghai government was about to lock up local human rights activist Chen Jianfang because of fears she might protest during the celebrations. Chen ended up escaping. She said, I have left Shanghai for more than 20 days. When I get back, they will throw me into jail again, so I cannot return. Every day my ex-husband is threatened. They say they will send me to labor camps for 2 years when they find me, and my daughter's future will be affected. Chen received a text message warning her not to go to Beijing. She also reported that 26 petitioners from Shanghai had been arrested. Shanghai appellant Wang Shenfang is pregnant, but has been detained a few times. She said, I am at home right now. You can't go anywhere. Wherever you go, they will come and take you back. We can't get onto the internet. In Shanghai, you cannot get onto any overseas site, such as the Epoch Times. I don't know what it is. The internet censorship is horrendous. Having hidden in Beijing for 2 months, Shanghai petitioner Wen Meiyong was eventually captured on the 25th. He said, I'm in a shelter in Shanghai. Yesterday I was caught without a reason. At the time I came down the stairs of my friend's house and saw a bunch of people who surrounded me and took me away. I asked why they arrested me and did not protest. I only went to Beijing to see the celebrations. They did not pay any attention and locked me up in Shanghai. Chen Jianfang urges the international community to pay attention to human rights in mainland China and asks the media to expose the communist regime's abuses. You're listening to Inside China Today on the SOH Radio Network.